It has already started. Mind control. What if you can control something with your mind? You can control the computer. We're becoming telehumans. Today we're going to talk about a story that is unbelievable, and it is literally starting in clinics already. Also, we're going to discuss your cash. You have to have an explanation of why you want your cash out of the bank. Explain to the bank why you deserve your own money. Isn't that unbelievable? We're going to discuss that and how it's important to be your own bank and to control what you do with your money versus someone else controlling what they do with your money. Also, we're going to talk about your food system. Again, a broken food system means for broken humans, but a healed food system means healthy. We'll discuss a few stories dealing with that and how important it is. But guess what? Because of that, because people are starting to wake up to that, food providers are starting to find new ways to get you addicted to the trash food and use the GLP-1 to lose weight, to have that revolving circle and not healthy food. The proof is right here. We'll talk about it. And then lastly, did you know we stopped a terror plot that just happened, that someone was linked to terror that wanted to destroy parts of America? There was a quote that was done. It said, when we lackadaisically let people in our country, what we're doing is setting up for something way worse than 9/11. Let's dive into these stories today because they all deal with you and deal with prepping and deal with how you can be better for you and your family as you live sustainable. Let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to our channel. Thank you so very much. We humbly thank you for being here. We hope that you like the content. If you do, give us a thumbs up. It means the world to us. It tells our YouTube friends here that we are important. And also, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. We hope that our information is very important to you. Now let's jump into the stories of the day. I want you to listen to this about being a telehuman. I know last week Neuralink came out. And again, I tell you all the time, it's not that I don't like Elon. I think Elon's doing good things for freedom. However, I believe Elon has still got some things that are very spooky and bizarre. And I know that it may be the fact that he may not be using it for harm, but there is going to be someone who can easily use this for harm. Listen to this story. This is just very disturbing to me. Neuralink launches brain tech trial in Abu Dhabi. Neuralink's kicking off its Middle Eastern trial. Yep, mind control technology that is going to full sci-fi mode in Cleveland Clinic in Abu Dhabi. The goal, help people with movement, speech, and literally control devices with their thoughts. Now, you think, okay, well, that's good. I mean, look at the guy last week. He could not talk or speak to his family, and he was able to talk and speak to his family. That is the blessing, and that is awesome. That's how God gives us wisdom to make something like this. Brilliant. But then, did you miss the other part? It will help control devices and their thoughts. Now, what if those devices control your thoughts? See, that's what we don't realize, is the technology that we're building may be used against us, and we'll discuss that a little bit more in just a second. But it says, if you even want to play a game, think of Fortnite, the most popular game on virtual reality and gaming systems right now. You could literally do it with your mind. He says, just give us a little time. We'll be able to devote it to where your gaming system will be ran straight from the link in your head. Now, that is absolutely crazy, but they're starting trials, not only for health, but now people are signing up to say, you know what, hey, let me try this out. Let me try this out. Absolutely crazy. This story keeps on going. It says, how can you play Fortnite with your mind? Neuralink just launched this first brain chip that allows people to do nothing but play games with their mind. How? The chip records signals from your brain's motor cortex, where movement begins and translates to digital commands. No need for anything to say build or jump, because ultimately if you're telling your mind you want that computer to do that or that game to do that, it can do it for you. We're not quite there as all hands free, but we're getting very, very close, the scientists said. Is this what we really want? To be a telehuman? Now the thing is, our mind can control something, but what if that one thing can control our mind? That's the part that you got to remember. It's like we talk about with AI and talk about with all this other stuff that we are building innovative tech for. The things that we're building innovative tech for, those things could be innovative enough to pretty much control us as well. And this proves it. People are signing up left and right to give the opportunity to put this chip in our brain. How crazy is that? Now let's talk about our food. I want you to listen to these stories. This is a governor of Georgia. Listen to this now. Brian Kemp signed a pesticide liability shield. This is insanity when it comes to your food system. Listen to this. Full liability waiver protecting pesticide manufacturers, including Bayer, from lawsuits. Now remember, Bayer started really struggling because everybody's starting to sue because of all these people starting to get cancer from Roundup and all these pesticides that they're putting on our food. But now your Republican governor, Brian Kemp, and this also happened in North Dakota, where these two states now gave a waiver to this company that produces medicine, food, and herbicides and pesticides, and now they get a pass. You can't sue them if all of a sudden you get sick. This is why you have to control your food. This is why it's so important, like we talked about with the money in just a few minutes, is when we become our own food system, when we become our own bank, we become independent. We become so much more sustainable. We become the leaders of our true domain. But guess what? Let's keep on going in this. Bad news coming out of the state of Georgia. The governor there just approved a pesticide liability shield where you cannot sue if you get sick for eating something that was on your food. Which means now if you get sick from any chemicals that are used to grow your food, you cannot sue them. Glyphosates, they have now been linked to lymphoma. But guess what? They've already paid tons of billions of dollars on lawsuits. But guess what they did? Because of their power and because of their lobbyists, they now have Republican governors signing bills to say, no, you don't need that. Look, they're trying to keep us safe. Doesn't that remind you of another pass that we gave in 2020 to Pfizer and things like that? It's amazing these people that want passes are the people that are literally causing us harm. So you want to be the leader of your own domain. You want to be independent. You want to be sustainable. You start growing food. Look at that food garden. Look at all these gardens over here. Look at those trees right there. All of that is food. That's not just shrubbery. That is food. Now that's just portions. Look, there's a smokehouse back there for when we harvest pigs in just a few weeks. You have to learn to be over your own food system, people, because guess what? Now they're making waivers, and this is going to happen in every state. I don't care how quote-unquote conservative your state is. You may have, like, Florida not sign this bill. But ultimately, they're going to sign this bill because guess what? Every state needs people to produce food. Well, if all of a sudden these farmers are like, oh my gosh, how are we going to grow food with all this, without all this spray? We have to have Bayer. We have to have this company that builds the cancer drugs and the foods and the chemicals to spray the food that ultimately gives us cancer. Isn't that weird how they're over all three elements of that, and now they have a waiver to where you can't harm them. You can't get to them. Broken food system. Let's keep on going with the food. Prime example, listen to this. Eating only wild foods for a month. This guy changed his whole gut and changed every part of his life. One man stopped eating anything and everything in food. For 4 weeks, he lived off wild fish, wild game, and foraged plants, things he could grow personally. His gut bacteria changed fast, helpful, and starting breaking down fiber took over. So his gut started processing better. He lost 9 pounds in the first week, and his gut was even better to break down the foods that he had in his system, quickly changing the way his body processed food. Gave him more energy, gave him a better outlook because ultimately his body started healing from within. This guy said it changed his life to where now he sees the importance of growing food. Before I get any madder about food in our food system, a word from today's sponsor. Could your health problems and issues be caused by an invisible enemy? Fatigue, bloating, brain fog. What if I told you that parasites could be the real problem? Could be the real enemy? I was digging into parasite cleanses and I came across this video. Check it out.
What are the main differences between ivermectin and fenbendazole? These are two anti-pathogens used to treat parasitic infections and other similar types of conditions. They are used quite often in the oncology world to treat cancer. They both have as anti-pathogenic abilities.
Interesting, right? Did you know that 60 million Americans apparently have parasites? That's scary. They're everywhere in our food, in our water, in our home. They secretly invade your body, wreaking havoc on your gut, your energy levels, and of course, even your brain. And the mainstream medical association does not want you to know this and even think about it. There's one great cleanse that can change your life. The Wellness Company has the solution for you. Ivermectin plus mebendazole, FDA approved parasite solutions. Now it's combined into one great cleanse. Just fill out your brief medical intake form and get a 3-month supply. There's tons of gimmicks and tons of other products, but none of them are the gold standard like this one. The Wellness Company is here, and they're making hard to get medicines like these two very, very easy. Having medicines that are digitally accessible like the Wellness Company is a game changer and can help you live your best life. Head to twc.health/themacs. Use the promo code themacs, get a $60 off coupon and free shipping. Do not wait, cleanse your body today. Let the Wellness Company help you. I believe in this company. Check them out for emergency preparedness medicine, but this right here can be a game changer for your health. twc.health/themacs, promo code themacs, save $60 and free shipping. Get yours today. You know, we always talk about sustainability. Having emergency preparedness medicine from places like Wellness Company is a game changer. We literally take ours everywhere we go. So just a food for thought there. We just talked about 2 stories, one bad, one good, and all about you growing your own food. Big Food is quietly trying to outsmart the people that are using things like Ozempic and GLP-1s. This is kind of diabolical. This is from Mario Navarro. It says, turns out the food industry has a plan to beat Ozempic, and it's not to make healthier products. No, they're trying to engineer food. Did you hear that? Engineer food. Neuralink. Sprays. Engineer food. It's all man-made God complexes. We're trying to engineer food to override the appetite-suppressing effects of GLP-1. Fewer cravings means fewer calories, means fewer profits. So now the race to rehack the body is on. Companies are now trying to get hyper-crunchy chips, nostalgic sugaring smells, supercharged salt crystals, all to stimulate the desire to base yourself not on weight loss meds for them to block, but ultimately to get you addicted to food. And then if you need to lose weight, you turn around and get back on these things. A revolving circle of trash. Get you highly addicted to crap food, realizing instead of dieting and exercise and making your body healthy like the last guy that foraged for his food and understood food sustainability, no, we want you to get so addicted that you gain weight, that it makes you hungry, then you suppress it with the chemicals and the medicines, but then you turn around and go back to the highly addicted food. That's what we need you to be on, you human American people, the world. We need you fat, lazy, and unhealthy. Now let's go to our money right quick. There was 2 stories. One came from the EU, and the reason I say the EU is because you're like, Kobe, that's not America. We got an American story right after this, but listen to this. Notice of cash withdrawal. This came out from the bank. This came out from one of their biggest banks in UK. It says, if you wish to withdraw more than 3,000 euros in cash, you must notify the tax agency and the bank 24 hours in advance to do this withdrawal. You must also specify the purpose of the withdrawal. Failure to comply with these requirements will result in penalties and fines, and also you not being able to get your own money. So you put your money in this bank, and you can't actually get your own money out without telling them why you're needing the money. You ever tried to borrow money? Like for instance, if you're borrowing a mortgage, you know, and they do the credit history and the credit check, and they see a deposit come into your account for like $6,000, they see you take that $4,000 or $5,000 out. They want to know why that deposit of cash came in and why you have money going out of that much money. You got to learn to bank on yourself. Now that's just the EU. Let's go to America. This is actually from another gentleman that deals with crypto, and he pushes crypto, but I'm not pushing crypto. What I'm trying to say though is, listen to what he just went through. This is off his influential account, and people know who this guy is, but it says, I went to my bank earlier today to withdraw some cash, and they told me it will take a few days in order to order the money. This was only just around $1,000. While giving me a look like I've committed a sin, it says, is it normal for banks to literally hold your money where you can't get it and access it? Now this was in America, in a city, big city. And he said, I was trying to get literally like $1,000. They wanted to know why I was getting it, and they told me I had to order the money. All right, so far, Neuralink, they're trying to become your mind. And then all of a sudden your food. They're trying to make you so addicted to your food. They're trying to produce you garbage food by spraying it, and then you can't do anything about it if it makes you sick. And now they're literally saying, hey, use our banks, but look, if you need your own money back, I don't know. We're going to have to know why you want your own money back. These stories all represent of why you have to be your own bank, be your own food system, and also think for yourself and gain wisdom the right way. Don't be so captivated with technology and with things that people are trying to show us in this innovative way, because what we realize is innovation sometimes is causing us more harm than good. Be your own bank. Do not just pile your money in all these apps and all these banks. Now, I'm not saying don't put money in the bank. Keep money in the bank. But if you have all your money in that bank and all of a sudden you need $1,000, $2,000, $4,000, $10,000, $1,000, all of a sudden they say, no, you can't have your money without explaining it to me why you need your own money back. That's a problem. First of all, I would get my money out of that bank as soon as I could and go take it to another bank. And I'd keep some portions at home. Now, last story I want to bring up, and this is the important part. Before we get to that, listen to what Elon Musk said, and I thought this was great. It said Biden flew in 320,000 unvetted migrants. If you remember the flights he was coming in with, not the border millions, which is already bad enough, but 320,000 was unvetted and flew into the United States that we paid for through the app, if you remember all that. He said, you tell me how in the world can we not expect something worse than 9/11? And that makes complete sense. We were worried about 30 or 40 Saudis or whatever the situation was back in 9/11. And all of a sudden now we flew in 320,000, and guess what? Not one single one of them were vetted. We flew them in, we let them go. We gave them the app, we gave them the phone and said, have at it. You're welcome to America, the land of the free, home of the brave. And we wonder why we're having all these situations. Well, this goes to the terror plot that we just foiled. And again, thankful for leadership like we have with the military and with Trump. The Trump DOJ and FBI have just foiled a would-be IS mass casualty situation at the U.S. military base in Warren, Michigan. This is a massive deal. The former member of the Michigan Army National Guard, how was he part of the Michigan National Guard? His name, listen to this, his name is Amar Abmulajid Muhammad. That makes perfect sense. You know, he's for America, right? He was charged as attempting to provide material support into foreign terror organizations with distributing information related to destructive devices. He was trying to find out more, and he was feeding information back to IS. On May 13, it was a scheduled day for the attack. He will make an initial court appearance today in Eastern District of Michigan. The U.S. Attorney's Office will be asking the court to hold this guy in pretrial detentions and do not let him back into the community, because either he will cause harm or flee back to wherever the country of origin was helping him. So we stopped this guy from actually causing harm on a military base and getting our information to literally to a terror group. It's absolutely unbelievable that this guy's even part of this plot, and we allowed him to be in the military. This is also this is Mario Nafal sharing the same story. It says, ex-soldier busted for IS plot to slaughter U.S. soldiers. A 19-year-old former National Guardsman was arrested and was plotting against all his quote-unquote buddies in the military. Turns out his terror friends were undercover agents the whole time. He was working alongside this group, and guess what? DOJ and FBI already had tabs on the guy, and he was literally going to carry this out 2 days ago on May 13th. He even filmed himself swearing loyalty to IS in front of their flag. He was discharged just a few months ago, and he was serving in our military. While serving in our military, he pledged his allegiance to IS. It's time to purge the people out of our military that shouldn't be there. It's also time to really vet the people that we let in lackadaisical, because Elon Musk did say and made a good point. When you unvet people and you let millions come in, and then you fly another 320,000 on the taxpayer dime, and you unvet them and you let them go just because you give them a phone, don't think that things can't get worse than even 9/11 here in America. Pay attention to these stories, guys. More than anything, as a prepper, as someone who wants to live sustainable, it's time to be your own bank, be your own food system, and be your own thought pattern when it comes to wisdom and thought-provoking information. You have to learn from yourself. Don't trust just the doctors, don't trust just the scientists, don't trust just your government. It's time to start thinking, of course, spiritually, trusting God, seeking wisdom, and ultimately relying on the things that God gives you, not the world can give you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless.
Be free.